Hey critical thinkers and lifelong learners, today we're stepping into the world of rap beef. Or I am, you're probably already there. I'm probably the last person on earth to Google what the Drake-Kendrick beef is about, and my official take is yikes. That's not what we're here to talk about today. There's way more qualified people to take you through that. What we are talking about here is how the feud between Kendrick and Drake was a thin veil cast over the Super Bowl halftime show to give everyone a little bit of plausible deniability. When I say thin veil, I mean it. The message was in your face with just that tiny little hint of misdirection. This glare on my glasses is terrible, so give me like 1 second. Okay, I think that's a little better. I'm trying a new thing. I have a new camera. It's been a slight struggle, but we're gonna try now. I am just like red and dark. Whatever. You're not here to look at me. So why am I qualified to talk about this when I'm absolutely not qualified to talk about rap? I won't show you my company ID because there's personal information on it, but I used to contract creatively for, you know what, I'm actually not going to say the company. They probably don't want their name in this or anything, but you know, the big theme park in Florida, it's got like a mouse and stuff, that one. I used to contract for their live entertainment department, as well as other projects for them through their creative department that's also has a copyrighted name but starts with an I and ends in earring. That is a long story covered in NDAs, so you'll never get a video on that or see any of my cool pictures, but let's just say I'm qualified. My undergrad was in production design, and my very first job out of college was stage management for 13th Floor Entertainment's socially distanced drive-in show. I know my way around a performance, both in design and in management. If you've been to this channel before, you'll also know that I'm an art historian, which the second half of that is historian. Lamar makes a ton of historical references in his performance and lyrics, which is what I will spend my time analyzing in this video, and also in my grad degree. I am not trying to speak for Black Americans, nor am I trying to speak over them. There are many more people who can talk to this experience, how they interpreted the show through their own lived experiences. And there is plenty to analyze, and I hope that you will also seek them out if you're interested in this topic. All I'm trying to do is use my skills that I have learned through 2 degrees, working in live entertainment, and literary analysis to make the wider message of this landmark performance known, particularly to white Americans, who it went right over their heads. I was sitting in a room full of them. Finally, though it was a visually minimalistic stage show, there is plenty to analyze. Jasper John's American Flag series comes to mind as soon as the dancers came on stage. I'll put some of his works up so you can see what I mean here. He used the flag in deconstructed ways to communicate many different messages throughout his career. With all that out of the way, let's actually get into this performance. Right away, we have Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, long used as an embodiment of the United States, particularly in recruiting posters for the World Wars. The visual of a black man as the anthropomorphization of the nation already meant this was going to be a ride. Now, I don't know about you, but I was watching at my parents' house with my dad, uncle, and mom, and some family friends and neighbors. As soon as Samuel L. Jackson came on dressed as Uncle Sam, I seriously thought about leaving the room for the backlash that was going to happen. Like anyone else? Another layer to this is how the term Uncle Sam changes when applied to a black man. Brands like Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben's are rooted in racist stereotypes having to do with house slaves and later black help, as in the movie The Help, being given these nicknames while they labored for white families in the kitchen. So Uncle Sam goes from being the title of the anthropomorphized nation to an insulting term, especially as Sam is Samuel L. Jackson's real first name. It makes the name Uncle Sam personal and pejorative. He interjects several times throughout the performance, but his first declaration is that this is the great American game. The car that opens the show is a Buick GNX, which has layers of meaning to Lamar, from the title of his album to the car his father brought him home in when he was born, according to one article. The minimalist 4 stages represent PlayStation buttons, and the performance starts on the square. Games, meaning sports, video, and societal, all play a part in this performance. The dancers flood out of the car in a fabulous piece of production design and choreography, and then Lamar drops the first powerful bar of the night. And I'm so sorry, but since this is so heavily copyrighted by the NFL and Fox and everybody else, I'm going to have to read these lines, and it's going to be really awkward for both of us. So here we go. The revolution about to be televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. This Super Bowl is the first one in history attended by a sitting president, Donald J. Trump. The message could not be clearer, especially as this is not a lyric to Bodies, the opening song, or Squabble Up, which follows. This is the revolution. It is the most televised event of the year in America. This is the right time to speak out, but America chose the wrong guy. Squabble Up features a piece of choreography that broadcasts what's to come, with the dancers marching in opposing rows of red and white, making stripes like an American flag. At the end of this song, Uncle Sam interjects again. No, 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 too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game? Then tighten up. This is a parody of what I suspect many white football fans were thinking right about then. As Uncle Sam started with, this is the great American game, and this was too black for a country who just voted for Trump and got rid of DEI. Do you really know how to play the game? Alludes to the minimalist video game setup of the 4 stages, mimicking PlayStation buttons, the game this was the halftime of, as well as the game of making it in America. Do you know how to play the game? The camera cuts back to Lamar, now standing in the American flag made out of his backup dancers. This is where the Jasper Johns imagery comes in. The American flag is a deeply loaded symbol, with it being appropriated for everything from the back the blue Punisher skulls to pride flags. Simply its presence can spark debate, and a flag made of black bodies while Lamar sings Humble is a rebuttal to Uncle Sam in itself. At 3 minutes and 20 seconds in the official NFL video of the show, the whole flag of dancers does the Black Power raised fist, first popularized by the Black Panthers in the 1960s and brought to world fame by American sprinters Tommy Smith and John Carlos during the 1968 Mexico City Olympic Games. The dancers and Kendrick transfer to the long main stage at this point, which consists of tarps on the ground making a concrete street with streetlights, a minimalist urban environment like the type usually associated with rap. I haven't been commenting on the lyrics much as we've gone along, but there is one that I want to focus on here. There's a sample in the song that was not used in the halftime show that samples Geraldo Rivera, a Fox News anchor, saying that, "This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young African Americans than racism in recent years." Again, this is not something I can speak to as I'm not part of the black community, obviously. And the purpose of this is to analyze the visuals of the show, but we all know that's a fucking stupid statement. Like, what the hell, dude? I cannot believe you said that on live TV. Next up, the dancers back Lamar under a streetlight for Man at the Garden. Uncle Sam comes back with, I see you brought your homeboys with you. The old culture cheat code. Scorekeeper, deduct 1 life. Another double meaning here too. Focusing on deduct 1 life. It goes with the video game theme mentioned last time Uncle Sam was up, but it also refers to the shooting of young black men by American police for minor inconveniences, something as simple as sitting in a group or reaching for a wallet to show ID. Peekaboo is next, with the dancers moving to the X button of the PlayStation stage. This right here is as much of the Drake drama as we're going to talk about, and that is the teasing that goes on while Lamar's hit song Not Like Us. As the Genius.com article I've been referencing to help me write this says, there's one question on everyone's mind. Will he perform Not Like Us? It's loaded, as he says to his backup dancers, I want to perform their favorite song, but you know they love to sue, referencing a lawsuit by Drake over the lyrics. Maybe I'll think about it, he decides before going into Luther. Uncle Sam yells from off stage, oh, you done lost your damn mind, in response to this exchange. Luther and All the Stars are slower songs, with an appearance from SZA, as well as the triangle PlayStation button. Unrelated, do you know how many goddamn ads I had to sit through for this 13-minute video? It was like, it took me over an hour to like pause and then watch it and like get through an ad. There was one point where I was writing something on my script out the corner of my eye, and I saw that it was like YouTube, you know how it says like ad 1 of 2? So it did ad 1 of 2, and then instead of going to ad 2 of 2, it said ad 1 of 2 3 more times before going to ad 2 of 2, which was really ad 4. So it was a mess. It was a mess. If this gets ads like this video, I'm so sorry if that happens to any of you. I was mad. Because next is All the Stars on the Circle PlayStation button, featuring a transition that reminded me very much of Jordan Peele's Us in the Hands Across America scene. The final appearance of Uncle Sam is one of approval. He says, that's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants. Nice and calm, you're almost there, don't mess this. Nice and calm censored blackness. In, let's say, a Marvel movie, All the Stars is from Black Panther, a wonderful sanitized version of African culture that is appealing to a broader white American audience, with its not at all harmful tropes of magical black people who commune with nature, white colonialism, and so much else that I cannot fit into this. What matters is the statement, that's what America wants, nice and calm. Instantly, Lamar goes into Not Like Us. Well, not instantly. First, he says one of the most important things of the night. It's a cultural divide, I'ma get it on the floor. His backup dancers say, you really about to do it? He says, 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. And they again say, you really about to do it? And he says, yeah, they're trying to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. This is the exact point that I was making at the start of this. You really about to do it from the backup singers, and the cultural divide, I'ma get it on the floor, could both be about how he's going to sing Not Like Us. What changes this from Drake beef to politics is 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. For anyone who doesn't know, 40 acres and a mule is the proposed compensation for enslaved people that was put forth by Thaddeus Stevens. He was a staunch abolitionist who was part of Lincoln's cabinet during the passing of the 13th Amendment. This idea was read out by General Sherman, literally a block away from my undergraduate dorm in Savannah, Georgia, on the corner of Harris and Bull in Madison Square. There's still a plaque. I've put it up on screen. This measure would have passed if Lincoln had not been assassinated and his successor, President Andrew Johnson, a Southern sympathizer, tried to walk back any and all reparations as soon as he took office. The phrase has been taken to mean promises broken by the government and the continued systematic discrimination of Black Americans. This incredible performance ends with TV Off, which contains another reference to the revolution will not be televised. This is not something I ever expected to do a video on. I'm not Black, I'm not interested in speaking for Black Americans, and I have no context for rap. As I said in the short that teased this, my most listened to artist last year was Hozier. I was in his top 2%, and yes, you're getting a video on that soon. But when I sat in a room full of people who missed every single thing I just talked about, from the Uncle Sam symbolism to the 40 acres and a mule line, I realized I had to, so that maybe some other white people could understand what was being said. I do have an interest in speaking out for marginalized groups and their art, elevating it to where it should be valued, and I hope I did that today. The revolution will not be televised, except for when it just was. I'll see you next time.